Noah Lyles has proven himself at the greatest of stages. While the US track phenom was constantly being criticized for slow timings, Lyles always spoke about conquering the Olympic gold. And sure enough, as the time to Paris approached closer, Noah Lyles began to show glimpses of his electric legs. Competing in the US trials, Noah Lyles clocked 9.83 seconds to storm his way to Paris. Unfortunately, despite Lyles's dream of securing the 100 meters gold came true, an unfortunate occurrence shattered Lyles' ambitions of claiming an Olympic quadruple. Coming into the 200 meters, Noah Lyles was the hot favorite to win the gold. Unfortunately, Lyles looked completely out of sorts and finished in the third position. Following his race, the American sprinter was spotted to be in serious discomfort as he was having breathing troubles. Stretchered out of the tracks, Noah Lyles revealed that he was infected with the COVID-19 virus and that it was the end of the road in Paris for him. Meanwhile, the fans were in disbelief at how and why Noah Lyles risked his health to compete in the 200 meters finals. Thus, when Essentially Sports got a chance to get Noah Lyles' exclusive interview, we could not help but ask the same question. The answer was pretty much a reflection of Noah Lyles' ironclad mentality. Recalling several identical obstacles from his childhood, Lyles said, "I feel that that's been my whole life. Fighting despite of something. Going after a big goal despite of something. That's been my whole life. You know, asthma, dyslexia, ADD, depression, anxiety. Those could all be individually reasons why I'd stop, and I've yet to see a reason why I should." Lyles then opined that since there is no surety of what will happen tomorrow, thus he likes to make the most of what is available today. Surely, Lyles did go through a lot in order to reach the pinnacle today. Growing up, Noah Lyles suffered from frequent asthma attacks. Until the age of 8, Lyles was forbidden to take part in any sports. His mother, Keisha Kane, did everything at her disposal to keep the house devoid of any dust. After a certain period, Lyles started taking nebulizer treatment and now has a dedicated bunch of medical professionals to keep his asthma in check. Meanwhile, after the news of Noah Lyles' COVID-19 came to the forefront, several fans have been asking why Lyles was allowed to compete despite having COVID-19. Why was Noah Lyles competing in the 200 meters with COVID? The term COVID, a pandemic that wreaked havoc and overturned nations within a fortnight. Following the quarantine protocol was one of the major guidelines that was followed during the pandemic era. In fact, in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics too, an athlete, if found to be COVID positive, would be secluded from the rest until he/she returned a negative test. However, gone are the days of nightmares, and now, doctors treat COVID as any other viral illness. Thus, when Noah Lyles developed symptoms of COVID prior to the race, it was up to him to decide whether he would participate or not. However, the Team USA medical team ensured that Lyles was drinking enough water and was following all the necessary precautions required to recover from the illness quickly. However, despite adhering to all the safety measures, Lyles' decision to run turned out to be near fatal. As Lyles lay on the track after his 200 meters bronze medal finish, his mother Keisha Kane had the scare of her life. Repeatedly asking the security to call a doctor, Kane was frustrated to see the security personnel turning a deaf ear. Detailing her experience, Kane posted the picture of Noah Lyles lying and captioned it saying, "This was one of the scariest moments of my life. Watching my son hold his chest gasping for air while the stadium security refused to call a doctor as I begged them to send him help. They also refused to do anything to help. They totally ignored me. No parent should ever have to experience this feeling of helplessness." Fortunately, Lyles did receive treatment and is recovering well at the moment. Thus, with all these instances of sacrifice coming to the forefront, Noah Lyles' achievements seem to be shining ever so brightly in the sporting horizon of greatness.
Noah Lyles, what's the biggest difference between Noah in Tokyo and Noah in Paris?
I'd say it's definitely the joy I have in my heart. It's a lot stronger. It's not depressed, and it's ready to go. It's ready to enjoy time and energy, be in the moment here.
You're bringing us joy. How much are you enjoying that rivalry with Jamaica?
Hey, I'm here for anybody who wants to take the crown. Now that's what I'm all about, competitors and competing at the highest level.
Best of luck, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a fighter. That's how I made it this far. In fact, just because I'm struggling doesn't mean that I'm gonna quit. I'm very adamant that I don't believe in really giving up or failing is not, not succeeding. It's when you have completely stopped and given up and not given your all. Yeah, me and my brother have basically, he's about a year and 4 days younger than me, so there's not a day that I don't remember him being there. And so we've been together forever, and we went on this journey of making the Olympic team together. We were planning to go and make it in 2016. I got fourth. Unfortunately, he got injured in that year, and then we came into 2021, and he only made it to the semifinals, and I was able to make the team this time. But especially with not being able to have family at the Olympics, it's been very hard. I was just on the phone with my mom as I was rushing to get ready to come over here, and she has at least called me like 3 times a day, which is only one more than she normally calls me. But the fact that I'm in a 13-hour time difference means that she's calling me more in less time. And I'm just like, you must really miss me for somebody who keeps calling me. And she's like, I do miss you. And I'm just like, Mom, we've been apart for like months before. We did go through COVID. He's like, yeah, but you didn't win a medal from that time. And I was just like, yeah, that's true. So I know that, I miss sharing moments with them, especially right now, which is probably one of the bigger moments of my life. And, I know they miss me too. So it's definitely something that you want to share a moment like this, have somebody to attach to and be like, we did this, we've been through the journey together, and it sucks that they're not here. It definitely is a moment where a lot of people can look back and say, oh, these athletes actually have feelings. Because I've been very vocal of, I'm a human being. I'm not a superhero. I'm not, a mutant. I have feelings. I have emotions. Just because I go out there and run fast doesn't mean that I don't come home and hurt and, get tired and want to go have fun and stuff like that. A lot of people will see athletes as put them on this humongous pedestal because they think just because it's something that they can't do that, it's something that nobody can do, and that's not the truth. In all actuality, we all have gifts and abilities, and it's just we found our ability and we honed in, really worked at it. But anybody can do that. Finding your gift and honing it and putting all into it, you can do that. And of course, sometimes some gifts are praised more than others, but that doesn't mean it's less important.
Pretty heavy. I'm not gonna lie. They're pretty heavy. It's a good thing I work out my neck at times too.
And how are you feeling? Obviously, so many people concerned watching you leave the track the other night.
Yeah, I'm a lot better. There's quite a while where I was just underneath there, and at first it was kind of a lot, and there was just too much going on. But when I tried to actually stand up, I had to start laying back down because the fatigue and the energy was just fading pretty rapidly. But after quite a bit of time, I was able to recompose myself. I was able to get some medication underneath, so I was able to breathe again. And then finally, we just, again, tried to keep it as light as possible, collected my medal, tried to, be as respectful as possible. I didn't want to get anybody COVID, so after that, I've thankfully tested negative this morning, so I'm very happy to be healthy again, but still slowly kind of taking it back.
Obviously, so many athletes, you're preparing for years for this moment, and you don't want anything to go wrong. What's it like then the other night when you suddenly felt ill?
It was very shocking, truthfully, because I already had been wearing a lot of masks. I wash my hands and very conscious of trying not to get sick at championships. So it was, and I was already staying away from people a lot because, I'd been getting, run up on a lot by a lot of people in the village. So I've been trying to stay secluded as is. But so I was, again, very shocked that I actually contracted COVID.
But you still got a bronze though. Like, if that's how you can run when you're feeling under the weather.
Yeah, it's funny. The joke right now is whenever I'm off my game, I always run 19.7, which is apparently fast enough to always get bronze.
But Let's go back to the 100-meter final. The fact you are now the fastest man on earth, how does it feel to be able to say those words?
It's glorious, because in my heart I always knew it, but nobody wants to give you the title unless you win the 100. So here I am. I won it in the World Championships, and then of course half of the world doesn't understand how track and field works, so they don't understand how that's how you gain the title. I'm like, well, if you don't want to give me for winning the World Championships, I guess I'll have to take it in the 100 meters Olympics. And here I have it, so now I am officially the world's fastest man.
But when we're watching that race, it was a bit of a slow start.
Oh yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, I'm a numbers guy, so I'm looking at the numbers. Compared to all my normal starts, it's actually just as good, if not better, than my normal starts. But the competitors really stepped up their game in the first half of their race.
The world's fastest man will have an unexpectedly quick exit from the Paris Olympics. Just hours after finishing third in the 200 meters final, considered to be his strongest event, Noah Lyles said that he seems to have run his last race in these games. It also comes after his mother shared with NBC Olympics that Lyles had tested positive for COVID. "I believe this will be the end of my 2024 Olympics. It is not the Olympic I dreamed of, but it has left me with so much joy in my heart. I hope everyone enjoyed the show," Lyles wrote in an Instagram post. "Whether you were rooting for me or against me, you have to admit you watched, didn't you? See you next time." Lyles was next scheduled to compete in the men 4x100 meters relay final on Friday, but it appears he will not be a part of that foursome. It's been an eventful 5 days for Lyles. He came into the Olympics talking a big game, and he delivered right off the bat, winning the men's 100 meters final Sunday evening. Lyles was the favorite to win the 200 meters race as well, as he is considered the best in the world in it, but could not deliver another gold, instead finishing third with a time of 19.70 seconds. That was behind Botswana's Letsile Tebogo, who took the gold with a time of 19.46 seconds, and teammate Kenneth Bednaric's time of 19.62 seconds, which was good for second. But soon after the race was finished, his mother said he had tested positive for COVID earlier in the week. Lyles needed medical attention after the race, but it wasn't clear what the issue was or if it was related to his COVID diagnosis. Commentators said Lyles was seen taken off from the track in a wheelchair by medical personnel after the race. As we saw Noah Lyles being taken off there in a wheelchair, I ran down underneath the stadium to try to find where he was. I ran into his mom, Keisha Kane Bishop, who was distraught trying to find him as well. "We found Noah Lyles in medical there being tended to," NBC Olympics' commentator Lewis Johnson said. The mother confirmed the diagnosis from 2 days ago, but Lyles opted to run anyway. He said he never considered not running in the race. "Yeah, I woke up early about 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and I just was feeling really horrible," Lyles said. "I knew it was more than just being sore from the 100. Woke up the doctors and we tested, and unfortunately it came up that I was positive for COVID. My first thought was not to panic, and we just took it day by day, trying to hydrate as much, quarantined off. And I'd definitely say it's taken its toll for sure, but I've never been more proud of myself." It's the second straight Olympics the virus has played a major role in Lyles' trip to the Games. He also won the bronze in the Tokyo Olympics, and he has said the empty stands and a year delay before the Games led to depression that he said hampered his performance and inspired his road to Paris. On Tuesday, Noah Lyles revealed he had tested positive for COVID. This was after the men's 200 meters final, where he finished third in 19.70 seconds. A wheelchair took him off the track. Lyles appeared for media duties wearing a mask, flanked by members of the U.S. team's medical department, but claimed he never had any thought about withdrawing from the event. USA Track and Field had made clear it was Lyles' decision to participate in Thursday night's final.
We have to start in Paris. It's been another huge night on the track at the Stade de France that saw such a dramatic 200-meter final. Noah Lyles, the man that everyone tipped for gold in that 200-meter, the 100-meter champion, was by far the pre-race favourite. But just have a look at this shot here. This is Noah Lyles off the USA. Finishing in third, look at the distance between him and the actual winner from Botswana, Letseli, Tobago. Absolutely incredible race. Let's get more on this story, though, because there's some breaking news this evening that we have to get our heads around. We can go back to Paris again and speak to Miriam Walker-Khan. And Miriam, my goodness, how did this race play out? And tell us about the condition of Noah Lyles now.
Yeah, going into this race, Noah Lyles was a huge favourite after winning the 100 metres, and because of the fact that the 200 metres is his event. He did that long before he kind of transitioned to the 100 as well. He's got 3 world titles in the 200, and he was confident in that. He was hoping to become the first man since Usain Bolt to do the sprint double, and the first man in US history since Carl Lewis 40 years ago. And he literally bounced onto the track when they were announcing the runners at the start of the race. He looked fit, he looked healthy, he looked excited. We know he psychs out the other athletes a lot in races, but he looked very ready for that race. He got a good bend, but then he just didn't really transition off that bend into the home straight as well as we normally see him do. And like you said, it was Botswana's Letseli Tobago who got that gold medal in a real shock of these games, I think. But after the race, we saw Noah Lyles being carried off in a wheelchair. He was wearing a mask as well at one point, talking to media. And USA Track and Field have confirmed that he had tested positive for COVID 2 days ago. This obviously isn't what Noah Lyles had planned. He has said so many times that he wants to emulate Usain Bolt and do that sprint double. And he's spoken so much about it in the lead up to this race as well. But he leaves Paris with 2 medals, one in the 100, that gold, and this bronze medal in the 200 metres. But there will be questions now over whether he should have run that race today, having known for 2 days that he's got COVID. People ask that, and USA Track and Field have said it was his choice.
Lyles, the freshly crowned Olympic 100 meters champion, was unable to keep pace with the gold medalist, Botswana's Letseli Tobago, 19.46, or his U.S. teammate Kenneth Bednarek, 19.62, who took silver. Lyles' appearance in a wheelchair immediately drew speculation about his medical condition. The 27-year-old soon clarified his situation. "I do have COVID," Lyles said. "I tested positive around 5 a.m. on Tuesday. I woke up feeling chills, aching, sore throat. Those were a lot of the symptoms I have had before getting COVID. I was like, I need to test this one. It came back positive, so we quickly quarantined in a hotel near the village, and they got me on as much medication as they legally could to make sure my body was able to keep the momentum going. I still wanted to run. They said it was still possible, so we stayed away from everybody and took it round by round. I have definitely had better days, but I am walking around again. I was quite lightheaded after that race, and the chest pain was definitely active. After a while, I was able to catch my breath and get my wits about me. I am feeling a lot better now. It definitely affected my performance." In a statement, USA Track and Field said, "Our primary commitment is to ensure the safety of Team USA athletes while upholding their right to compete. After a thorough medical evaluation, Noah chose to compete tonight. We respect his decision and continue to monitor his condition closely." The Paris Olympics has no mandatory rules relating to COVID and participation, meaning Lyles was within his rights to take to the start line. COVID has been a lingering feature of the Games, having affected Australian water polo players and swimmers from various nations, including Britain's Adam Peaty. Lyles answered a firm no when asked whether withdrawing from the 200 meters was ever a consideration. "I was going to compete regardless," he added. "If I didn't make the final, that would have been the sign not to compete." Still, Lyles' attitude will raise eyebrows. His girlfriend is the Jamaican athlete Janelle Bromfield, with whom he admitted sharing a bed while in the hotel. "Janelle said I was coughing through the night last night," Lyles said. "I thought I had a good sleep, but she said she had to keep moving me through the night to make sure I would stop coughing. I am more proud of myself than anything. Coming out and winning the bronze medal after 3 days with COVID, it has been a wild Olympics." No other members of the U.S. team had been informed of Lyles' diagnosis before the 200 meters final. "The only people who knew were the medical staff, my coach, my mom, and my family," said Lyles. "We tried to keep this as close to the chest as possible. We didn't want everybody going into a panic. We wanted them to be able to compete. You also never want to tell your competitors you are sick. Why would you give them an advantage over you?" Bednarek, who hugged Lyles after the final, seemed to have no worries about any danger attached to that. "I don't care," said the silver medalist. "I don't view those things as a big deal. I am healthy and do everything to ensure my body is healthy. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't get sick easily." Lyles still has to make a call over whether to compete in the 4x100 or men's relay. "I am going to talk to the 4x100 crew," Lyles said. "I am going to be very honest and transparent with them. I will let them make the decision. I believe no matter what happens, they can handle anything." Lyles later posted on Instagram, "I believe this will be the end of my 2024 Olympics. It is not the Olympics I dreamed of, but it has left me with so much joy in my heart."
Yeah, I have a feeling that no one was going to be able to stop Noah Lyles from running that race. Now, Miriam, before I let you go, there's been some history in the field for Pakistan in the javelin.
Yeah, Pakistan just won their first ever Olympic gold medal, their first medal in athletics, but a gold medal from Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem with an Olympic record of 92 meters 97, which is incredible. He wasn't the favourite going into it. We know that he's been throwing incredibly these past few years, but a truly incredible feat because Pakistan have only won now 11 medals at the Olympics ever, most of them in hockey. And I think this is just a moment as well, Jess, for the Pakistan and South Asian diaspora around the world, because a lot of the time we grow up as South Asian people being told we're too weak for sport, especially in football. We actually just released a documentary on Sky Sports News called Hidden Talent, where we spoke about the kind of stereotypes that South Asian athletes face. That is one that footballers hear a lot: you're too weak, you're too small. And I think having Arshad Nadeem, who is a Olympic champion now, throw that far in a javelin event, which is kind of the epitome of physical strength, is very, very exciting and something that Pakistanis all over the world will be very proud of.
Wow, what an achievement. Imagine trying to tell him, who's just thrown a javelin 92 metres, that he's too small and too weak. Absolutely incredible. Miriam, for your updates, as always. We'll see you tomorrow.
Fresh Noah Lyles' favoritism controversy stirs Paris Olympics as Team USA star reveals struggle with 200 meters finals. Just before the men's 200 meters final event, the temperature has increased. Kenny Bednarek has raised the issue of favoritism toward the host. As per him, the hosts gave Noah Lyles lane 5 to give him a technical advantage. However, Kenny himself received lane 9 at the cornermost position. The sprinter couldn't digest it. On X, he shared the issue. "Never seen favoritism like this on a global scale." Meanwhile, things seem to be settled now as Kenny is in lane 8. Noah Lyles is still in lane 5. Does there come any technical superiority with the lane changes? As per the veteran athlete, there may come. One Olympic medalist put a seal on it. 3 years ago, in Tokyo, Andre de Grasse took the bronze medal in the 100 meters event. Eventually, he vented his emotion later, and surprisingly, it was not on pace, rather, he complained about his lane position. Just like Kenny Bednarek today, Andre has lane 9. "I knew it was going to be a tough one after I drew lane 9. I didn't have a great semi-final, and I knew I had to come out and try and execute as best as I can." Here, the common idea says that from the cornermost position or the outside lane, from 7 to 9, the sprinters fail to see their competitors because of limited visibility. The situation can repeat itself in inside lanes, 1 and 2 as well. In those lanes, the pertaining reason is the tightest nature of the corners. So, the middle lanes rise to be the most effective ones to keep an eye on the opponents on both sides. Right now, Noah Lyles is in the middle lane, and with him, another American sprinter, Erjan Knighton, will show up in another middle lane, lane 6. Ultimately, the much-cherished 200 meters fight is expected to be limited between these two sprinters. Their performances throughout the years speak on behalf of that. Moreover, their best performances in the 200 meters event stand to be side by side, taller than the others in the pack. Apart from that, the newly enacted rules regarding lane placement prioritize the ranks of the sprinters strictly to settle at the lanes. From that perspective, the lanes for Noah Lyles, Kenny Bednarek, and Erjan Knighton may raise some uncomfortable questions. In the semi-final round, Letseli Tebogo was the topper, while Kenny Bednarek followed him. Noah comes later in the third position, so, from that perspective, Kenny's positioning in lane 9 was problematic. He should have been placed in any of the lanes, 5 to 7, leaving a lane for Lyles. Yet the reality is different. Would this mistreatment boost Kenny Bednarek to go against Noah Lyles, all guns blazing?
Noah Lyles, what's the biggest difference between Noah in Tokyo and Noah in Paris?
I'd say it's definitely the joy I have in my heart. It's a lot stronger. It's not depressed, and it's ready to go. It's ready to enjoy time and energy and be in the moment here.
You're bringing us joy. How much are you enjoying that rivalry with Jamaica?
Hey, I'm here for anybody who wants to take the crown. Now that's what I'm all about, competitors and competing at the highest level.
Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Noah Lyles' controversial 100 meters gold medal race at the 2024 Paris Olympics came down to a photo finish, with Lyles narrowly edging out Jamaica's Kashane Thompson by a mere 0.005 seconds. The slow-motion replay showed Lyles' torso crossing the finish line just ahead of Thompson's, securing the American sprinter his first Olympic 100 meters title. While some argued the margin was too close to call, the rules clearly state that the torso, not the head or limbs, determines the winner in a photo finish.
Usain Bolt said that he knows what you need to do to break the world record, and he's not going to say it. I'm sure you saw that. Did you and your coach look at that, or you already know what you need to do yourself?
I'm gonna do what I'm doing. If he knows and he's not gonna share it, why would I listen?
And Kenny's world lead last week, he says it's going to last just for a couple of weeks.
I'm sorry, what?
Kenny's world lead in this 100 last week, he says it's going to last just for a couple of weeks till you go on the track.
Until New York. New York Grand Prix.
You have any time fixed in your mind?
World lead.
Okay.
That's all that's needed. What did I run last time I opened up?
Well, fair enough.
And what did I run the time before that?
Fair enough.
And what did I run the time before that? All right, then.
one more. From Bahamas, you talked about them keeping the group together. You, Kenny, Carrie King.
Yeah.
I mean, now you just talked about how good Christian Freddie is now. I mean, obviously it's going to boil down to the national trials and how fast you guys go on the line. Are you still adamant that you should keep the group together, or, make some tweak based on how fast the other guys coming?
I was just looking at Jamaica is, making a push to try and keep as many people as possible as wild cards, and I think that's a great idea because they did form some type of chemistry. Even if not a lot, it's some, and that's better than none. And we as Americans, there's so many of us that are so good, you never know who's going to be on the team. So having some people that's on the team that are going to be wild cards that were on that Bahamas team, I think is very important because they have some type of chemistry.
The lane placement controversy at the Paris Olympics sparked heated debates about fairness and favoritism. Kenny Bednarek expressed his frustration on Twitter, stating he had never seen favoritism like this on a global scale after being placed in lane 9, while Noah Lyles was assigned the more favorable lane 5. Bednarek's sentiment was echoed by Andre DeGrasse, who, after winning 100 meters bronze from lane 9 in Tokyo, admitted that the outside lane made it a tough one due to the challenges of limited visibility of competitors. The controversy highlighted the significant impact lane placement can have on a sprinter's performance and called into question the transparency of the assignment process. The highly anticipated 200 meters showdown between Noah Lyles and Erriyon Knighton took center stage at the Paris Olympics. The rivalry, which had been brewing for years, reached its climax as the two American sprinters faced off in the final. Lyles, the reigning world record holder with a blistering time of 19.31 seconds set in 2022, was the clear favorite. However, Knighton's raw talent and rapid improvement over the years made him a formidable challenger. The fact that both sprinters were assigned favorable middle lanes, with Lyles in lane 5 and Knighton in lane 6, only added to the excitement and speculation surrounding the race. The 200 meters final lived up to the hype, with Lyles and Knighton pushing each other to their limits.
No Olympic champion. The thing is that you embrace pressure so very well and come out on top. Is there a newfound respect that should be towards you?
No. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I'm not gonna hate anybody that doesn't like me. But all I'm gonna say is, don't downplay other people just because you don't like someone. Just go to the guy you like. But I appreciate anybody who has found respect for me But to be honest, this crowd was amazing. This field was amazing. This is the exact field that I wanted to show up at an Olympic final. Because if I was to lose to, any of those guys in the top 3, I would have said, that's well deserved.
Talk to me about the race though, and how close it was, and the time, a personal best.
Yeah, it was a very close race. I'm glad I had Oblique Seville next to me, because I was like, I need somebody to put that pressure on me early. I know that in a lot of races he's been like 1 or 2 lanes away from me, and he's been able to get out just in that the acceleration phase, and I've just been missing it. And I was like, nah, now that you're right next to me, I'm gonna make sure that I cover that. And then after I passed him, I saw Kashane out there, and I was like, just do what I do, hit my top end speed, let it work. And to be honest, I didn't know if I had it. I leaned, but I didn't know I had it. Me and Kashane were at the end waiting for our names to come up, and I came back and I said, I'm gonna be honest, man, I think you got that one.
Oh.
Yeah, but my name came up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing.
And you are. What do you take away from this in terms of your legacy? How do you describe it in this moment?
In this moment, I've waited a long time. I've seen Jamaicans dominate the 100 and the 200 for so long, and I remember growing up saying, when it's my turn, I'm gonna make sure that the U.S. is on top. And here it is. Here's my time and my journey, my moment, and it's such a beautiful thing to see.
Enjoy the moment, brother.
I thank you.
The victory was especially sweet for Lyles, who had faced criticism and doubts after his disappointing 100 performance earlier in the games. Meanwhile, Kenny Bednarek, who had been vocal about the perceived favoritism towards Lyles, finished a distant 3rd, unable to match the top 2's blistering pace. The result further fueled the debate surrounding lane placement and its impact on race outcomes. Being an outspoken character, Noah Lyles acts like a double-edged sword. He can build and also knows how to decimate things. After claiming the gold medal in the men's 100 meters, the 27-year-old sat down in the press conference sharing tidbits on the upcoming heavy battle on track. He started by praising Kenny and making big revelations about him. He said, "Kenny definitely put up a fast time at trials, and that definitely woke me up. I was very proud of him, and he is definitely not going to take how he did here in the 100 lying down." The reigning world champion said that his compatriot would shake all the dust from the 100 meters Olympic final and embrace the 200 meters track like nothing else. But he might face a collision. Speaking on his chance, the Olympic champion conceded, "None of them is winning. When I come off the turn, they will be depressed." Now, Kenny Bednarek's tag on him being the favorite might add a few more chapters to the rivalry. Let's wait for tomorrow.